To all the mothers out there, happy Mother's Day from Movie Time with Chris. It is Mother's Day, but it is also Sunday. So we are going to be talking about horror movies like we do on Sundays. And before we actually get into today's movie, I want to start with a little bit of a story. Many moons ago, when I was young, living in New York, there was one day when I was in the backyard playing, as kids do, probably playing with dirt. I had Tonka trucks. That was my thing. And I remember looking up in the sky and seeing this grayish looking orb in the sky, just kind of going across. It was moving too fast to be a balloon, too slow to be a plane. It was circular. It was like a perfect sphere, just floating across the sky. I distinctly remember it. Didn't really tell anyone about it. Just kind of, Tonka trucks. But it is something that has always stuck with me, and I always remember it. And if that gives any indication at all to what we're talking about today, it was a decision between what I wanted, either aliens or darkness. And we went with aliens. So today we are talking about the fourth kind. Now, aliens, extraterrestrials, I guess extraterrestrials would be the proper term. Aliens is just anyone that's not from your area, like illegal aliens or, anything like that. Martians means they come from Mars. So extraterrestrials, not of Terra, not of Earth, probably the best term to use. But it's something that has always intrigued me, has always had my interest. Not just movies like Aliens or Predator, anything like that, but the fact that it's space. I enjoy things like Ancient Aliens on history. These are things that I really like. I enjoy. I constantly study on my own time. So what little I have of it. But yeah, so this movie, it had the alien aspect to it. The whole abduction theory, the fourth kind of thing. Not first is sighting, second is evidence, third is contact or something, and fourth is abduction. So this one, they had me hooked. The fact that they play it like it's a true story, and it kind of is, but not exactly. And the fact that it takes place in Alaska, and I love Alaska. I've never been, but I want to go. When I worked at the movie theater and I was about to become a general manager and was looking at where I wanted to have my theater, I did look heavily into Alaska. Alaska is somewhere I've wanted to go. I would love to visit, take an Alaskan cruise, maybe live one day. But yeah, so this takes place in Alaska. And I say that it's kind of based on a true story, but not really. In the town that the movie takes place in Nome, Alaska, They do have a lot of missing people. I don't want to say abductions because obviously there's nothing proven. But they do have missing people. Some people do believe that there's a federal cover-up about it. So that aspect is kind of based on a true story. But the footage and the actors, obviously, even the actors in the footage of the film that they use in the film, I should say, are just actors. So that aspect was not true. And it did upset a lot of people in Nome who have lost people. But let's watch the trailer so you guys can kind of get what I'm talking about with the footage in the film, not of the film. And let's watch the trailer.
Can you state your name for the camera?
Dr. Abigail Tyler.
Okay, where would you like to begin?
I am actress Mila Jovovich, and I will be portraying Dr. Abigail Tyler. This film is a dramatization of events that occurred October 2000. Every scene in this movie is supported by archived footage. Some of what you're about to see is extremely disturbing.
I wake up in the middle of the night almost every night.
And there's nothing unusual waking you up.
There's one thing. There's an owl at my window.
An owl.
Nice eyes, you're big.
A white owl, just looking at me. Had you ever seen it before? Tommy?
When I was a kid, just staring at me.
I've seen it a lot.
Every night this week.
4, 3, 2. Tell me about the owl. Tell me about the owl.
Doesn't look like a normal owl.
There's no owl. It's not an owl.
That voice is speaking Sumerian, the oldest language in human history. You can go into any Sumerian exhibit and see etchings and sculptures of men in spacesuits and oxygen masks. Rockets that look like Apollo.
Do you believe in abduction theories?
You don't mean alien abductions, do you?
There was more fear in his eyes than I've ever seen in my life. What's wrong?
There are more missing people in Nome than any other town in Alaska.
I have to get this out of my head because it's dug in there and I can't think straight.
Scott.
Oh, God. We gotta send backup now.
What'd you see? You were there!
I can't explain it. Someone or something came into my room. And it took me away.
Whew. Now, even though the footage and the acting and everything wasn't true, God, that still gives you the creeps. It's still, you know? I think aliens are scarier than ghosts. So, not that I don't think ghosts are real, because I've seen ghosts. I know that they're real. But I don't know, just the willies. But anyway, so yes, the movie has Hollywood actors playing the part of other people who are other actors.
I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude.
And they're essentially trying to mirror what you get with this found footage, so to speak. And the whole thing deals with this town having the missing people, which they do talk about, but also these other individuals who have been abducted. And it kind of throws some of the stuff you get from Ancient Aliens in there as well. You know, that the the extraterrestrials are speaking Sumatran, which is the oldest language ever. It goes back to ancient carvings and hieroglyphs and things like that. So you get a little bit of Ancient Aliens with a little bit of true story of Nome with some Hollywood big budget acting and things like that. But, you know, the movie is very suspenseful. It is like a thriller, but it is kind of creepy. It's not your typical horror, you know, paranormal or gore or slasher, but it's a horror movie. And I do believe that they have this watch it on Netflix. So just about everyone has Netflix, whether you're paying for it or you're borrowing someone's or you're stealing someone's. Yeah, you probably have access to Netflix. So check this movie out. But it's on Netflix, so go to Netflix, watch it, get creeped out. It's well worth it. You know, the story will intrigue you. The acting may not be that great, but the story mirroring the found footage, looking into what it's based on in Nome. If you watch Ancient Aliens, you get some of the aspects of that in this. So it's a well-rounded movie. So check it out. I think that you'll enjoy it. But leave your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, you guys can find me on social media. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch. I have a blog. And of course, you guys can reach out to me with questions, comments, suggestions through email, movietimewithchris@gmail.com. But until next time, stay safe, take care, and look up.